Hi, this is Ross Harrison from Precision Health and Fitness, and today I was going to do another exercise video, but I decided that it was more important to talk about some of the foundational elements of exercise and demonstrate it through sort of form technique. You can't have good exercise technique if you don't have good posture, so today I'm going to talk about the bent position, which is like if you're doing a bent row or deadlifts or a number of exercises use a version of that position or at least use elements of that position. So the important things that transfer to other exercises are going to be the awareness of your center of gravity and your posture. So in a bent position, ideally the most important thing is your legs are supporting your weight. Like your hips are back, you're bent forward, your abs are doing some work. Your back muscles are doing some work to keep your spine straight, or at least your back flat, the natural curve in your spine. But the legs are supporting most of your work. A lot of times when you see people in that kind of a position, you might see something like this, where the back's rounded, the abs may not be doing very much, the legs really aren't supporting the weight that much, and the low back's doing a ton of work. So if somebody's in that position, just being in that position isn't really a good idea. But if they're in that position and doing an exercise, then it becomes potentially dangerous. So I'm going to demonstrate a little bit with the bar. People use dumbbells, cables, whatever. There's many different ways you can do things in that position. But so even just holding a bar, if I just lean forward, I can already feel a little stress in my low back. The most important thing, stand up straight, feel solid through your feet, and then let your hips drop back. If your hips go back at a good rate, the back's going to stay flat, your hands are pretty much going to stay below your shoulders, and the legs are supporting your work, and there's very little stress on the back. That said, if parts of the body are underdeveloped, like if the core muscles aren't strengthened or don't have much endurance, your back can still feel some tension just because the muscles aren't quite strong enough to maintain the position. But a big one, what I often see is people may have a decent leg and hip position, but their upper back will be rounded. Anytime the upper back's rounded and the muscles are relaxed, there's pressure and stress going through the low back. So typically, if I even just hand somebody a lightweight, if they're in that position and they can't hold that position without doing that, they're not going to do whatever exercise is involved in that position. At that point, it becomes work on like the upper back muscles, the postural muscles to pull the shoulders back and be able to maintain a flat back. Because again, if you add weight to it, you're just adding dysfunction. Because if the person can't hold that position with a light weight and you put a heavy weight, it just means more curve, more pull, and more low back pain at some point in the future. The other thing is center of gravity. So when you're just standing, usually you should feel like your weight's evenly dispersed and you're solid to the ground. Leaning over, being in that position, that shouldn't change. So if a person leans too far forward or your weight's on your toes, you can even feel just your whole lower leg will start getting tense, and if you're fighting just being in the position, then you don't have the energy and the focus to put towards the actual exercise that you want to do, because you'll be thinking about trying to not move, not fall. And one of the things that often causes that, and we'll go back to the bar, and you can't really do it with the bar, but if the knees go forward instead of the hips going back, well, A, the bar's going to hit your legs, and that's a pretty good sign. And you'll feel like just doing that, I feel pressure in my knees, pressure in my back, that when the hips go back, and the bar goes forward, and I'm in that position, I feel comfortable, I feel stable, I feel supported, I can move the bar without worrying about anything other than really what muscles I have to use to pull. So if I'm in that position and struggling with trying to keep my back flat and not round and trying to not wobble and not have my body going in all different directions, obviously the exercise isn't going to go very well. So that's pretty much it for today. That's just a short little intro to the bent position, and it's a good thing to play with. Just even with some light weights, to see how your body responds. And for a lot of people, just holding that position, you know, your upper back muscles, quads, they may start to get tired after 30 seconds or a minute of just holding that position. So in and of itself, it actually can be a little training exercise. If nothing else, it's a good tool to check to see if you have any things that you need to work on, or if you're good and ready to go to an exercise that involves that position. So that's the bent position, a little exercise in posture and center of gravity and awareness, and I hope you use it. Thanks.